Okay, so we're just starting Unit 4 on collisions. But before we do that, before actually getting into problems that involve things colliding with each other or breaking apart, we're going to look at the concept known as momentum and impulse. Okay, so the equation for momentum is P is equal to mv. And these are the symbol P. I think there's too many different things with m being used already. So it says mass is the big one. So this first day for collisions is pretty straightforward. So here, let's do a few questions. First, we're going to calculate the momentum of a 215 kilogram boulder rolling with a velocity of 10 meters per second west. So momentum is a vector. So P is equal to mv. So momentums are vector, velocities are vector, mass is scalar. So we have 215 kilograms. Our velocity is 10.0 meters per second west. So our momentum, pretty straightforward, 2,150 kilogram meters per second west. A 1.0 kilogram ball hits the floor with a velocity of 2 meters per second. The ball bounces up with a velocity of 1.6. What is the ball's change momentum? So looking at the change momentum, so we don't just want P, we want to find delta P. And if we're looking at delta P, we're also looking at delta V. So our mass is 1.0 kilograms. Our final velocity is 1.6 meters per second. They're in opposite directions. So if I said up is positive, initially it's going downwards. For the delta is final minus initial, right? So it would be final minus initial, okay? And that's going to be negative 2.0 meters per second. So 1.6 plus 2 ends up being times 1, so we get 3.6 kilograms meters per second. Let's keep scrolling down. Okay, so this page is showing that momentum and Newton's second law is very closely related to each other. So we get a new term that's called impulse. Impulse is defined as the change in momentum, so delta P. But if we start with Newton's second law, F equals ma, we know acceleration is just the change in velocity over change in time. And if we multiply both sides by delta t, we see that on the right side we have mv. That's change in momentum. And we find that's equal to f delta t. So basically, if we know what the change in momentum is, we can find how force is related to that. So we have a rocket at rest with a mass of 9.5 times 10 to the 3 kilograms is acted on by an average net force of 1.5 times 10 to the 5 newtons for 15 seconds. So basically, if you know one, you find the other. So if you know the change in momentum, it means you also know the impulse. So rocket, the mass. So we're going to start with F delta T is equal to M delta V, and it's kind of just plugging in what we know. So we say, okay, a net force of 1.5 times 10 to the 5 newtons, and it's acting on for 15 seconds. And the mass of the object is 9.5 times 10 to the 3 kilograms. And we can find that delta V. So it's initially at rest, so if we find delta V, it actually gives us our final velocity. So 1.5 times 10 to the 5 multiplied by 15, divided by 9.5 times 10 to the 3, so 9,500. And we get a final velocity of 237. If you want to round it to 2 sig figs, though, we'll get 240 meters per second. We have an average net force of 25 newtons acts north on an object for 7.2 times 10 to the negative 1 seconds. What is the change momentum of the object? So the reason I just put this one is because lots of times people forget that impulse is the change of momentum. So if we solve for impulse, means we've also solved for the change of momentum. So we just need to do 25.0 newtons multiplied by our time, 7.2 times 10 to the negative 1 seconds. So 25 multiplied by 7.2, second e negative 1 in our calculator. And we get an impulse of 18 Newton seconds. And for the last question, let's just scroll down. It says you drop down from a 1.5 meter tall ledge. When we land, we instinctively bend our knees, and more talented individuals will roll. So this is just trying to put in perspective like how time can affect the force experienced. There's a bunch of like videos you can find on YouTube that talk about how like survivability in car crashes, for example. Like cars nowadays, they're designed to crumple a lot. So just imagine you have a car moving sideways. Old cars are very rigid, so when they collide into something, you just get a big dent inside. But basically, what that does is by the car not crumpling when it collides with something, it means that the car is coming to rest very quickly. If time is very small, the force experience is going to be so much bigger. So new cars nowadays, they're actually designed to crumple quite a bit inwards. Also, you have airbags inside that save the person inside from the car, all to extend that time that it's experienced during a collision. So it says, so it's kind of the same thing with jumping downwards and landing. So if you drop down from a 1.5 meter tall ledge, so when you contact the ground, you bend your knees. The amount of time it takes between contacting the ground and coming to a complete stop is 0.2 seconds. What force does your body experience? So we have F delta T is equal to M delta V. And it says, I haven't given you there's some information that we're kind of missing. For example, mass. So you just kind of choose a value. Because all we're trying to do is try to get an idea of how time affects the force. So if we want to be more really exact, we can find that velocity first. So if someone's dropping from a height of 1.5 meters, kind of bring back the kinematics from grade 11. So we can say, okay, we need to find final velocity. So we can use the equation v squared is equal to v0 squared plus 2ad. Initial velocity is 0 for just dropping from rest, for dropping from rest, not like jumping down or diving down. So you say v is equal to the square root of 2 times the acceleration, in this case it's gravity, times our distance of 1.5 meters. So when this person hits the ground, 2 times 9.81 multiplied by 1.5, we're going to square root that. We're going to hit the ground with a velocity of 5.4 meters per second, around there. And let's just choose a mass. Like for example, you say the mass of a person is approximately 80 kilograms. So let's go with the 80.0 kilograms. It doesn't really matter what you choose. So you say F is equal to m delta V over delta T. So our mass is 80 kilograms. Our velocity is 5.4 when we hit the ground. And if it takes 0.2 seconds to come to a stop, the force experienced is around 2,160 newtons. You can kind of get an idea of what that is, what that feels like. If we divide that by 9.81, it's like 220 kilograms. So for example, like the force your body's experience is like if you were placing 220 kilograms on your body. It's quite a big force your joints experience. But don't try this at home. If you were to stay in that pencil form, just imagine like diving on a diving board and you don't bend your knees when you hit the ground. It's going to hurt. So again, same value is 80 times 5.4 and dividing by 0.01. You had a whopping force of 43,200 newtons. Time makes a big difference.